All right. And with that, we are officially live and recording. So I'm going to just extremely rudely kick you off of the share screen for just a second, just to do a very brief welcome for everybody and give our students a second to trickle in tonight. So first off, welcome. This is the Virtual College Exploration for all Pennsylvania students, sponsored by the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thanks for joining. Very quick housekeeping before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our participants at any time. Your camera and your microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you. This is one of our many different sessions happening, so please feel free to check out our full schedule at pacac.org. And finally, this presentation is being recorded and it will be available within about a week at that same website, pacac.org. And with that, it is my pleasure to go ahead and turn this over to our presenters.
Thank you very much. So today we are going to talk more in depth about Pennsylvania College of Health Sciences. This is our virtual information session, and feel free to add any questions that you have in the chat. Today with me, I have my coworker, Ashton, who will be helping us with the presentation. And she is just going to ensure that any of your questions get recognized. To begin, I just want to introduce our team. Today we have Ashton, who is one of the nursing admissions counselors, and myself, who I also help with the nursing students. But our team also consists of our Director of Admissions, Bill Rainier, Ryan Ulmer, who helps with nursing students and other programs, Lynn Longenecker and Nicole Grabo, who are senior admissions counselors, who help with the remainder of the programs that we offer here. A little bit about our college. We've actually been in existence for over 100 years at this point. We really do know what we're talking about when it comes to the healthcare field. Our mission has been to educate for excellence in healthcare practice and for the continuous acquisition of knowledge. We were built by Lancaster General Health to create a constant feed of nurses. And then as the healthcare profession has grown and other positions have been needed, I apologize, I have a cat, so if you see her, I apologize. She likes to invade meetings. Basically, our purpose was to continue to offer positions of excellence in training to students, to the employers who need those students with the training that they can rely on. We are located in the heart of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is a great area to be in if you are not from that area. Lancaster is a mix of both urban and rural. So if you love the countryside, but enjoy having an occasional getaway to some great shopping, we are very fitting for that. If you are the type who likes a good city life, but also enjoys a good getaway, we're great for that too. We're not very far from major cities, only an hour and a half from Philly and Baltimore, and just 2.5 hours from DC and New York City. We also have a great train system that also helps you feel very connected to all of these cities and helps get students to and from any of those locations. As a commuter campus, we do not offer any on-campus housing, but we do offer a variety of relationships with local apartment complexes that students can look into and often utilize if they'd like to be closer to the campus. These locations are Greenfield Estates, Bentley Ridge, and the Summit at Mill Creek. We do have some information about them on our website, so if you'd like to learn more, I definitely encourage you to explore our website further. A little bit about the statistics of the college. We are currently over 1,800 students plus in our enrollment. That being said, we still adhere to very small class sizes to truly help hone in on an individualized attention to detail for our students. The average non-clinical courses have a student-to-faculty ratio of 17:1. Basically, if you're not directly in the hospital having these courses, you're more likely to have a 17:1 faculty-to-student ratio. For those times where you are on the hospital and practicing in a clinical setting, the ratio is drastically reduced to just 8 students to 1. to really help hone in on your skills and allow you to have the help that you need. We are trying to increase our diversity as much as we possibly can, but the healthcare field is often very suitable towards the female population. So you'll notice that our demographic greatly serves the female population. We're also very unique in the sense that many people look at our college with the desire to quickly enter the workforce. So only 44% of our students are under the age of 25. That being said, we do fit the traditional student setting very well and offer a lot of campus life features to truly make those students feel comfortable. Yet we do find that we're very well acclimated for adult learners as well. One of the important things that you should look into when you're looking into any college is the licensure and employment rates. When you're going into the healthcare field, the majority of those professions are going to require you to take a state or national level exam before you're allowed to start practicing. For us, we really pride ourselves for being above the average in all areas of these licensure exams. For the NCLEX, which is the test associated with nursing students, we have a 99.26% passing rate for the associate's level and 100% passing rate for a bachelor's level, and that's on the first attempt. For all of our other programs, the average is at 88%, which is still well above the national average at around 76. Also, another really fun bragging point of our college is the ability for our students to get hired right away after they graduate. In our surveys, we've come to find that nearly 92% of those students who graduated are already working in their field or were able to find work within 6 months or less after they graduated from us. One of the reasons why your education is so valuable here is because of the accreditation that we offer. Pennsylvania College of Health Sciences is regionally accredited by Middle States Commission on Higher Ed. Basically, that's like ensuring your degree. By having that accreditation, it means that your credits are transferable no matter where you go, and that you're able to have your degree valued wherever you plan on getting employed. Beyond that, all of our clinical programs are also specifically accredited to their field. And if you had any questions about those accreditations, we'd be more than happy to answer them for you. There's other reasons to really consider attending a specific institution. And we really want to hone in on the reasons why you would like to find the right institution for yourself. So if you're asking, why should I choose you? And you have certain areas of concerns that are important to you, definitely use the chat and ask those questions right away. For us, some of the reasons we found are very important to our students come back to those small class sizes and guaranteed clinical placements. I'll say that again, we guarantee clinical placements. This is a rare find for many healthcare institutions. Often a student will get accepted into a nursing program or other healthcare programs, but still have to compete for that clinical seat. And if they don't get that clinical seat, they end up having to stay at that institution longer, paying for more courses that they may or may not need. And they're basically wasting their time and their hard-earned money. We don't do that to you. Your curriculum is guaranteed the way you see it when you get accepted, and your clinical space is guaranteed as soon as you commit to enrolling with us. We have a state-of-the-art learning facility as well that might not seem as important as you think, but it truly is. All of the photos that you are seeing are from our campus, including the equipment that students are using. They are so closely reflecting a hospital setting that we've used it for many opportunities and even had employers from hospitals use our campus to train their employees because the equipment is that good. That means you're learning how to become familiar with what you would use in the real workforce as early on as possible, with more experience and training in using that equipment than most students are ever privileged to have, which will allow you to feel far more confident in your ability to do your job after you're done and graduate from here. We also are heavily affiliated with Penn Medicine and Lancaster General Health, which is one of the reasons why our students are so hireable after they graduate. But it also means that if you're interested in saving a bit of money as you're pursuing your education, you can probably work at one of these places and receive a great discount at attending here. So what does it take to actually come to Pennsylvania College of Health Sciences? Well, we look for our GPA requirement to be about a 3.0, but it does vary depending on what degree you're in. So the best thing to do is to ask this question to your admissions counselor to find out more specifically what we're looking for as it pertains to your program. But there are a few consistencies that we look for. It's very important that our students have a Math of Algebra 2. This can be completed in high school or in the college setting as college algebra. We're also looking for the sciences. We heavily look at biology, and we also ask that students have completed another science with a lab component, like physics or anatomy. We do require the SAT or ACT, but only if you've been a recent graduate from high school. If you graduated within the past 2 years, we require it. We do understand that during this time with COVID, it might be difficult to get your test scores to us. If that pertains to you, please reach out and let us know. We might be able to help remove that requirement and make it easier for you to get through our process. But in the event that you are able to provide those test scores, we're looking for an 1100 on the SAT, but we can require at least a 1000, or on the ACT, a composite score of 21. One of the things we really feel we need to mention is that in the healthcare field, the positions that you're looking to get into have a very physical requirement. You might be lifting patients that can vary in size and be quite heavy. You might be on your feet for 12 hours all day and not have the opportunity to sit. We want you to really take this into consideration before you get started here with us, because there's no way of getting out of that physical requirement. And we are going to take steps and measures to really help you feel prepared for that physical requirement while you're in school. If you are very interested on applying after you've heard about all of this information, I encourage that you do so. You can go to our website, pennsylvaniacollege.edu or pacollege.edu, and just click the orange apply button that you can see at the top of our screen. It looks like the one you see in the photo. Because you are attending this event today, we want to waive that application fee for you using the promo code HERO20. It'll pop up again in the presentation, but feel free to take a moment while I'm on this slide to write it down so you don't lose it. After you've put in your application, which only takes about 10 minutes to complete, we ask that you send in your transcripts and test scores, if applicable, to admissions@pacollege.edu or mail it to the address that you can find right on our website. There are some additional requirements for other programs, and if they were to pertain to you, you would be notified as soon as you apply. If you're wondering about the deadline on when you have to have your application in by, don't worry too much about it. We offer rolling admissions here. Basically, for fall, we do encourage students to apply by February 1st, but if you apply afterwards, there's still a good chance we can get you in by then. Spring had the deadline of August 1st, I apologize, but we are still enrolling students into the spring right now. I would encourage that if you are interested in getting started with us this spring, to get your application in sooner than later, like really soon, because by the time fall break rolls around, it becomes a little too difficult to get in for spring. So we're down to the last few weeks for the spring semester, but it's still not too late if you're interested in applying for that today. I do want to take a few minutes to just dive in on the different degree options that we have. A lot of students know about nursing, but they don't know about the other positions and exactly what they entail. As far as nursing goes, you'll see that we offer a variety of options to really try to suit what would be best for you. In our other programs, though, they're pretty straightforward. Respiratory care is another program that really helps you serve your patients and is still a bedside manner type of position. There, you're working on airways and trying to keep patients breathing. We also have radiography, sonography in two forms, diagnostic medical and vascular sonography, and nuclear medicine. These are all imagery type of professions where you're helping take diagnostic measures to help figure out what's wrong with the patient. Please recognize that while these might seem like ways to avoid the grossness of the healthcare field, that's not usually the case. You'll still probably see some gross things, but these can be very rewarding fields with high salaries, and you only need an associate's degree to get into that field. So they're great options if you're really looking for a high, fast turnaround to get into the career. We also have the paramedic program, which is a first response. It requires you to be a certified EMT to get into it, but once you're there, you're done in a year and you're able to enter the workforce. We also have cardiovascular technology, surgical technology, and medical laboratory science. These are all very different professions, but they are very unique. The patients that you will be working with here are typically behind the scenes or under anesthesia, so you're not really talking to them, but they are very involved and highly specialized, so they can be very rewarding fields. We also have a bachelor's in health sciences, the nurse practitioner program, healthcare administration, and the doctorate of nursing practice. Most of these are higher level degrees or completer programs. The bachelor's in health sciences is there for anyone who completes an associate's degree in any of our programs and would like to go on to a bachelor's level to help allow them to get into a higher salary bracket or work up their career ladder. The healthcare administration bachelor's degree is there for anyone who would like to take more of a leadership role or work behind the scenes in healthcare, which can be very rewarding financially. The nurse practitioner and doctorate of nursing practice are, of course, graduate level programs. We also offer dual enrollment. Anyone here who is a high school junior or senior, I'm talking directly to you. Dual enrollment is an opportunity for you to take general education courses with us at half the rate of the normal tuition. It is one of the best ways to save. We have options for you to look into from biology to psychology, English composition, and more. If this is something that would interest you, it's a great way to get a head start in entering the workforce or entering college with already having a few courses out of the way. That means less stress for you once you're in the college setting, and that can be huge. The same promotional code that we're providing to apply for free to all students, you can use if you're interested in applying for dual enrollment. Again, that promotional code is HERO20. Now, we do want to take a moment to talk about financial aid. We do recommend our students file the FAFSA and really emphasize that it is important because it is one of the best ways to make college more affordable for you. By submitting your FAFSA, you will be considered for all of the scholarships that we offer at Pennsylvania College of Health Sciences. We do not offer merit-based scholarships, but we do offer need-based scholarships. We also have agreements with many healthcare network systems in our area, not just Penn Medicine and Lancaster General Health, but also places like WellSpan and UPMC. If you work at any of these health network systems or are interested in working in the healthcare field, I highly encourage you to look at working at one of those institutions, because then, as I've mentioned before, you can get a drastically reduced discount by attending here and working there. If you'd like more information about this tuition reimbursement program opportunities, definitely visit our website for more information, or feel free to set up a phone appointment with financial aid. They'd be happy to help you answer any questions about the FAFSA or anything else about our costs of attendance here. Their contact information is listed below. And after I change the screen, if you're interested in receiving that information, definitely feel free to ask for it in the chat column, and we'd be happy to get that sent out to you. As I mentioned earlier, we do actually have a great college student life activity on our campus. Many of the ways that we do that pre-COVID were by offering opportunities like campus clubs and volunteer opportunities for our students. We also do a lot of fun events to reduce the stress of our students, whether that's bringing in therapy animals for finals week or holding career fairs so that students can learn more about the professions that they can go into. We also do fun things like bring in food trucks in the better weather so that students can take a break and really get some good food into their tummies and mix it up for a change. There are plenty of ways to get involved if you only just look around, and one of the best ways to learn about how to get involved on our campus is to follow us on our social media page. You can follow us on our social media page through Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. It's the best way to stay up to date on the latest, whether it's a COVID update, how to find a roommate, or also looking at the fun events that we'll be holding to get better connected. I know one of the fun things that I've really enjoyed are the free fitness classes that we've been holding. They are through Zoom, and students can just log into the student portal, click on the link, and get a good workout in before or after their classes, depending on when that course is offered. At this time, we really would like to open the floor to any additional questions that any students may have. So I'm going to open it up and ask Ashton, my coworker, to unmute and see if there were any questions that have come into the chat.
Thanks, Kelly. My video load a little bit there. All right. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, please do enter them in the chat. But I did have one thing I wanted to note, since I work specifically with dual enrollment students. I wanted to let you guys know if there are any seniors out there that are still interested in taking, college courses with us, but also getting high school credit. We are still accepting for the spring, even if it's, last minute for your senior year. So if you, of course, have any questions, you can always reach out to this email, and then we can be in touch on that. Yeah, if I don't have any questions right now in the chat, but if you guys don't have any questions, if you want to put in like what programs of interest you might have, just to give us an idea. I know nursing's our most popular one, or if you're undecided, or if you're interested in one of our health sciences ones, you can put them in there as well, just to kind of see what our mini audience is looking into. But Kelly, I know one popular question is kind of what our clinicals look like. So specifically like on campus versus on site. I don't know if you'd want to talk a little bit about that, or I can, it's up to you.
Sure. Would you like to take that one?
Sure. So our clinicals are definitely a nice mix. And like Kelly said, we guarantee clinicals, which is definitely something that is a strong selling point, not just for our school, but really any program that you don't have to take a TEAS test, specifically for nursing, that's really popular, or, wait, a year or 2 years and take classes that you do not need. So if you're accepted, you are guaranteed clinical. For some of those programs, you actually start clinical first semester, but all of them would be within the first year, which is really nice. So depending on your program, like I said, some might be on campus to start, and we have an on-campus simulation lab, which sadly we are not open for tours right now through the end of the year, but we're hoping to open next year. But it's basically like a mock hospital. So we have a nurse's suite, we have 2 ICU rooms, we have an operating room, a radiography lab, an ultrasound lab, and then a respiratory care, kind of 2 rooms for specifically that. So it's really nice because you get that hands-on experience before you have somebody's life in your hands. So it's a great place to make mistakes and learn from them in a safe environment. And the majority of those experiences are not graded, which is also really nice. It's more for experience participation. So that helps because, obviously it can be a lot of pressure just to be in that scenario. So it helps you really focus on your knowledge and what you're doing. But then once you're off campus and at your clinical sites, most of them are with Lancaster General Hospital, especially for nursing. But there are some within other healthcare networks as well. But because, Lancaster General Hospital Health essentially owns the school, we have a great partnership with them, which really gives us a lot more opportunities to place students into clinical and get those experiences in a timely manner too. So that's why you don't have to wait as long for those clinicals. So like I said, it's mostly local, but there can be some other networks that we work with as well, and that's always changing. So I know students ask that a lot. Anything else to add on that, Kelly? I feel like I summarized it okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you did a great job in summarizing that. I think the only thing I could add is during COVID, what does it look like? And we are still actually open on campus for clinical practicing, and our science lab. So a lot of students have been asking about that too, and what that might look like. So if you're thinking of starting in the springtime when COVID might still be affecting how your school might look like, it might be worth noting that that's kind of the way it is. Anything that we can teach online in a lecture setting, we are. Otherwise, yes, we do still have students who are going to clinical sites and getting their clinicals in. That's actually a huge privilege that we're able to have that opportunity. And we've been fortunate that the measures we're taking to keep our students safe through COVID have been working. And to our knowledge, we've had no reported cases of COVID. So that's been allowing us to keep these opportunities available so that students can still get their clinical requirements met, which a lot of other institutions have been able to do, which is great.
Yeah, I would definitely say that able to be on campus right now for our labs and clinicals is really important, because I know some schools have not been able to open. But yeah, like Kelly was mentioning, some of our, our lectures are online virtual format through spring, just to kind of keep it safe. As we are primarily, a healthcare institution, we have more of those students that might be at risk. So they're doing a really good job of actually managing that. And we have more on our website, of course, if you did have any more questions. But for those of you applying for fall, hopefully it is not so much of an issue. We can only hope. So that's a good point, Kelly. Okay, so just a last call for any questions you guys can put into the chat. I also did want to kind of highlight the point that Kelly made about our SAT and ACT requirement, because I know that there's a lot of confusion around that for different schools. So as Kelly mentioned, we are able to kind of work with you on that if you haven't been able to take your test. For example, I know, since spring, the tests have been canceled, they're still being canceled. So if you're not able to take a test, we still say to apply and send your high school transcripts. And at that point, if we do not have your test scores, we'll be able to waive them, especially through fall, because we don't want to delay the student's application. It's stressful enough, so to be able to at least take that burden off of you guys is something that we definitely want to do. So I always encourage you to apply, even if you're not able to take that, or if you're, you have a test scheduled for the near future, still you can apply, and then we'll just wait on that until that arrives. So just let us know. We would be happy to work with you. All right. Well, Kelly, I don't have any new questions. So do you have any other things we should underline, do you think?
One of the things I will emphasize right here, as you probably read on the screen, is if you do end up having any questions after we leave today, or would like to get to know more information about how we can go in more depth on your personal situation, feel free to message us, and we'd be more than happy to set up a one-on-one appointment with you, or maybe get you scheduled for one of our other events that we would be offering. And the best way to do that is just to email us directly at admissions@pacollege.edu, which is listed on the screen below. You forgot your promotional code, email us, we'd be happy to send it to you. If you have any program-specific questions, we'll get you coordinated with the correct admissions counselor and get this question answered by that expert. So definitely keep that in mind. The conversation doesn't have to end here today. We can definitely keep talking with you more specifically about what you're interested in and how we can help you specifically.
All right.
Seems like we're good.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right, are we all set for me?
I think so.
All right, awesome. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just jump back in with a quick wrap-up slide for us tonight, which really says, hey, thank you for joining us. When you close this window, there's going to be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, and we do appreciate any feedback that you can provide. As I said at the beginning, this is one of our many sessions being hosted. We'd love to see you back. Please feel free to check out the full schedule at pacac.org. And in just about a week, you will be able to find this session's recordings, as well as all the other sessions recordings at the same website, pacac.org. And with that, thank you, participants, thank you, presenters, and have a great night.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.